Hey guys, welcome to Nerdarchy for Nerds by Nerds. I'm Ted, hanging out with my colleagues here.
Dave.
Ryan.
Nate.
And today we're going to talk about Sanity, Fear, and Horror, starting on 264 on the DMG.
The Dungeon Master's Guide.
It's really 265.
Oh, sorry.
265.
Starts there. Whatever. So, Sanity, guys, what do you think? Are we seeing enough to talk about this?
Maybe, maybe not.
Not after reading it.
So here's the deal with Sanity. Like, if in most games it's not relevant, but if you're running a high horror game, where it's going to come up, definitely your Ravenloft style games, your Cthulhu style games. That's maybe got the car.
Yeah, or even if your GM's terrible and you're horrified by it, and he's adversely affecting your sanity.
Well, then I think you might be making the sanity check.
Right.
Not your characters.
Yeah.
So so the concept is you gain an extra score to basically gauge how you deal with horrible things,
Right.
and whether it breaks your head or not.
So they say if you're using the point buy system, you get an extra 3 points. If you're using the basic stat array, you get an extra 11
To throw in
for putting sanity into your game. And it's a way of saying, okay, well, you can gain and lose sanity throughout your adventure. You can restore your sanity by like resting and trying to forget the things that you've seen, and you can lose sanity by just seeing god awful things.
And also like there's a saving throw system based off of that. Essentially, it's also more like it's almost more like a saving throw stat,
Right.
than it is
anything else, because it doesn't really do anything. Like the far realm, like outsidery things, it becomes your check for that to know things.
And aberrations.
Yeah, exactly. So it becomes your check stat for that. But it really doesn't do anything for you statistically.
It doesn't do anything good for you. It's
because if it's really high, it's just like your highest stat is tied up into this thing. No.
Yeah, you look at
And
things.
you might not go crazy.
Yeah,
you'll
look at
likely
things,
not go crazy.
You look at things and your head doesn't break most of the time.
Yeah.
But you don't do anything, and everything else you're not very good at. Now, like if you were playing in a Cthulhu style game where you're actually not supposed to do other things,
Right.
And by that I mean everyone wants to play Cthulhu, right? But 90% of the people that want to play Cthulhu, they want to play like Monster Hunters.
Yeah.
And that's not how Cthulhu works.
You're usually everyday normal people for the most part.
And so they kind of they try and come up with reasons why they would have fighting skills and weapons in that style game, which most of the horrors you come up against can't actually be killed.
Right.
Not by normal means. So you what you really need to do is like find out what the problem is. So it's more like an investigation game. But people come from, I guess, like the D&D mentality, or like it's monsters. We kill the monsters and the problem's solved. No, you spend your time trying to kill the monsters, and Cthulhu comes and eats the world.
Usually how it ends. Just saying.
Yeah,
Usually
pretty much. It never goes well. I mean, even when the people send Cthulhu back to wherever or make him go back to sleep, they usually die or go insane.
Yeah. So
Because they didn't have an 18 in their insanity check.
Yeah, one of the ways I was thinking of maybe doing it is, so what if, because like as you level, you've gotten more hardened to things. You've seen more stuff as you're like when you're 20th level. So like maybe actually adding your level as a bonus to checks, but like so like
Proficiency bonus.
to give people proficiency in sanity as they level.
No. I would that I would make it a proficiency bonus if that's what you deal with on a regular basis.
I mean, I would say like characters of faith would have proficiency, because isn't the proficiency I think creeps. Well, no, it caps at 6.
Yeah, but it goes up by level.
It goes up by level, but it caps at 6. So maybe give like religious characters, because they're a little more. They have something outside of themselves to more firmly attach themselves to. So like either their level or proficiency, whichever is better. Because like a paladin, because any Cthulhu type game you play, the religious character, the priest, is always going to have the highest sanity score out of anybody.
Well, that's why it says that typically if you're not going to use sanity, you can just
wisdom.
go off of your wisdom.
Right.
And priests and paladins tend to have a high wisdom.
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, paladins. If you've ever seen Ace Zenith, not so much. But in general, yes.
But then again, it's a saving throw for a paladin anyway, so he just is better at it anyway.
Yeah, yeah.
But if you wanted to add, the sanity score into your game, like you said, maybe paladins and clerics, and I would even go as far as the maybe chaos mage sorcerers are proficient in that. In that saving throw, so those guys are going to just be better at it.
Or maybe the chaos sorcerer is just like, well, my mind's already kind of out here anyway. Might as well take the full trip.
Yeah.
So
resilience is a feat that could actually up the score and give you proficiency as well.
So odd thought, popped into my head. If you're playing a standard D&D game, but you want to add a touch of the the fear and the horror stuff, you could totally in secret give the characters in your party a sanity score, and it's one more thing for you to track. But if they don't know what's going on, they don't have any way of saying, well, I need to manipulate this, I need to manipulate that. And if you start
no personal Jenga towers for everyone.
Yeah. There you go.
So if you put it out there, it's like, all right, well, all right, hey, roll a d20. Let me know what you roll. They might not know exactly what they're doing, and then you describe. Okay, well, this is the effect.
Or you could just make the roll for them.
Well, there's that too.
Yeah.
But having them make the roll and not knowing what they're doing. I mean, the first couple of times they might not know, but when you start, having something happen, and they're like, what was I rolling for?
Or you have them temporarily go mad in the game. You describe, how they perceive the world around them, and the other players are like, "Do I say that? No."
Yep.
So, I mean, what I was thinking so you could have like once every long rest, they get to make another check to see if they like level off, and become uninsane.
Right.
But like the way I was thinking of it is like maybe on the lower level of things, like you fall into a pit and you disturb like swarms of bats that are just like mobbing around you. They're not harming you. It's just a super eerie, creepy
thing.
All that screeching and all that. So like the DC would be like 5 or something like that. Versus seeing vampire with like the blood trickling down, like that is just eaten or just been feeding on like a loved one, whatever. Like that might be the DC 10 or 15 hard.
I think it's probably 15 to 20.
It's not like Cthulhu. Like it's creepy.
There's no tentacles.
Yeah, it's creepy, but it's not like
it wasn't a vampire.
I mean, because like there's like the oozy, like undulating, like there's something super like like
unnatural.
Yeah, like because like I get pretty grossed out like seeing maggots. Like it's maggots and slime and like all kinds. Like that's like DC 20 like with slime and ooze and maggoty.
Yeah, add 5 to the DC for slime. Maggots is another 5.
Yeah,
Tentacles
absolutely.
is another 5.
Yeah, it's compounding interest here. So
that's what they didn't put in there. That should have went in there.
there should be
The chart on
Disadvantage versus tentacles.
Yeah. This is definitely disadvantage versus tentacles.
There's also fear and horror, which
Yes.
kind of blend in with the whole sanity check system.
Yes, I mean
And-
they make them saving throws, but there's no
Yeah.
reason why they could not be checks versus your sanity.
Well, yeah, you
Like,
see something really scary, you make a DC check versus what you pick a DC as a DM and they make a check.
Well, basically, so it's horror and fear, right? So fear effects are going to be just that.
you get frightened for a minute if you fail.
Yeah, so but a horror check will then go against your sanity. And I mean, both could go against your sanity, actually.
absolutely, yeah.
And it's just different effects. Horror means you might go nuts for a little bit. And most of the horrors are temporary anyway. Or, I mean, the insanities are temporary.
Right.
Only when the really, really bad stuff happens that it
Well,
becomes
no,
permanent.
I mean,
short
I
term,
would-
long term madness.
I would just give
can
somebody
happen.
a die roll every day, like after a long rest. Like, all right, do you
You
come
see
back
the
from
snap
it?
out of it,
Do you
yeah.
come back from it? Oh, nope, you're still going. Blah, 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 and here's your bottle of booze, sir, to help calm the
Under the
spirits.
insanity rules, it actually does. Like, it'll tell you, like, you go insane for X amount of hours, or, long term is days, and then there's the one where you just don't come back.
Yeah.
So, and then you could actually absolutely do, somewhere in between all that is each day make a check.
Yeah.
And
And
might
maybe
be-
3 failed. Like it's almost like the death saving throws. If 3 failed, then you don't come back.
You're going for good.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you got short term madness and you're trying to make it go away and you get 3 fails, it goes to long term and the 3 fails there, it's indefinite.
Yeah. Short of like wish spells or some other crazy awesome magic.
Well, I think they actually give you the ways to
cure it,
cure it as well.
Yeah.
Which
It's in there in the insanity part.
which I feel like if you're
The
playing
madness.
with horror and fear and sanity scores, like the level of magic in your game has to go down.
Yeah, usually.
Because if you're used to seeing fantastical things
Yeah,
all the time,
It's got to be low fantastic.
I think I think tentacles break your mind less.
Yeah, just a little bit. Well,
Yeah,
especially
that just casting spells out left and right. Who
Dude-
cares if there's tentacles?
dude, like
What if-
Bard's black
Yeah.
tentacles. You're like, ah!
No!
Yo, yeah.
What is this sorcery?
What sorcery is this?
So it's a short section in the book, so that makes for a short video.
It does.
So you can let us know in the comments below what you think about sanity, fear, and horror. While you're doing that, feel free to click like, share, subscribe.
Check us out on Facebook.
Or you can visit nerdarchy.com and check out articles and
Stuff.
You can also join the conversation on Reddit.
So until next time,
Stay nerdy and maintain sanity.
starts there. Whatever. So Sanity, guys, what do you think? Are we seeing enough to talk about this?
Maybe, maybe not.
Not after reading it.
But so here's the deal with sanity. Like if in most games it's not relevant, but if you're running a high horror game, where it's going to come up, definitely you're basically gauge how you deal with horrible things,
Right.
and whether it breaks your head or not.
So they say if you're using the point buy system, you get an extra 3 points. If you're using the basic stat array, you get an extra 11
To throw in
for
some
putting sanity into your game.
Ravenloft style games, your Cthulhu style games. That's maybe got the car.
Yeah, or even if your GM's terrible and you're horrified by it, and he's adversely affecting your sanity.
Well, then I think you might be making the sanity check.
Not your characters.
Yeah.
So so the concept is you gain an extra score to.
Hey guys, welcome to Nerdarchy for Nerds by Nerds. I'm Ted, hanging out with my colleagues here,
Dave.
Ryan?
Nate.
and today we're going to talk about sanity, fear, and horror, starting on 264 on the DMG.
The Dungeon Master's Guide.
It's really 265.
Oh, sorry.
265.